I was enrolled into Jamia Ahmadiyya International Ghana for the purpose of reforming my people. Because I grew up in a community in an area which is dominated by non-Ahmadi Muslims. And it was a challenge to live in such a community where you are just a minority in this area. It was very serious, but I took it as a challenge upon myself. Therefore, I decided to enroll into Jamia Ahmadiyya International Ghana to acquire much knowledge about Islam and learn the Holy Quran in order to help my people and defend Islam Ahmadiyya.
I also enrolled in Jamia Ahmadiyya International Ghana for the purposes of my father being very religious driven. So right from childhood, not just my father, but also some other personalities in my life, some key personalities in my life, including my mother, wanted us to choose God as our main way of life. And so when I was in my senior high school, during those times, Alhaji Adusei, Alhaji Yusuf Adusei of blessed memory, and the former Amir of Ghana, Maulana Abdul Wahab Adam, passed away. And that's awoken a special spirit in me that there should be some other people who would also do some of the jobs that they did and would also propagate the message of Islam. That was the turning point for me. And that was when I decided to try to enter into Jamia. And alhamdulillah, I was blessed with the admission.
I grew up from a society where I wasn't around the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, but then I got to live with people from the Jamaat when I entered SHS, that is Imams, which is in Kumasi. So from there, that was where I had the idea of coming to Jamia Ahmadiyya International. But that was the time where I didn't have any idea at all what I was getting into, whether it was life devotion, whether it was looking for a job. I just wanted to go to Jamia. And so I did, but when we got to Jamia, that was where I realized that devotion is a different thing altogether.
Devotion in itself is a very concentrated and very centered word. And I would like to add into what you said, take this verse from the Holy Quran where Allah mentions that Kul inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin, from Surah Al-An'am verse 162, which is pointing towards the fact that the ultimate or the highest stage man can get to in this life is to say that, declare that indeed my salah, that is my observance of prayer or my worship, and my sacrifice, and my whole life, and my death are all dependent upon Allah. This is the sum total of the word devotion. And so from this point, I understand this to mean that prophets who were sent before Prophet Hadrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam came and lived their lives in accordance with this verse, which was revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who just pointed out to this fact that the sum total of a successful life in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to live your life completely in obedience to Him.
My years in Jamia was a blessing in disguise, but yet challenging because I had not wanted to disappoint the Amir and missionary in charge Ghana because he had a trust embedded upon me to complete a task as a missionary for the whole of Ghana and the whole of the world, especially the northern part of Ghana.
My years in Jamia was a bit challenging, but that is how it's supposed to be when you are studying. And so, yes, we were in school. There were some challenges, but alhamdulillah, as we're here now, we're able to pass through it by the help of God and the prayers of the Khilafat al-Masih. On the day of the convocation, I had mixed feelings. I had a deep sense of responsibility given to me, even though I wasn't in the presence of the Khalifa, but I still had that deep sense of responsibility being placed on me by the Khalifa. It's a trust, and trust, you don't joke with trust. Also, I was a bit saddened because my mother, who was one of my principal motivators, was no more. She had passed away a year before. But all the same, I was also thankful, and I was just praying and doing a lot of istighfar, that's seeking forgiveness and strength from Allah to be able to do justice to the job.
What motivates me as a life devotee is the very fact that if you can fathom this, try to picture it in your mind that there is a CEO of a company, and the CEO appoints someone to be a manager. And the manager sets a trend for everyone to follow, and you are able to follow that trend. You will see that definitely you are winning the pleasure of the manager, and hence the pleasure of the CEO. So in a broader picture, the prophets are sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the creator of everything. So what is more encouraging, what other encouragement would we need as missionaries or as humans than to tread the path of the messengers of Allah? And this is simply devotion, to tread the path of messengers of Allah who were sent for the reformation of mankind. So speaking, we were supposed to reform ourselves, to reform mankind, to serve mankind, and to draw the attention of mankind towards Allah. And there is no way you can get any other pleasure or any other source of motivation than this, that is Allah and His prophets you are trying to please. This is the greatest motivation.
My connection with Khilafat has been something that is very strong, and I can't even describe it with words, because most times, every month, I receive my reply of most letters I've written to Huzur, and most especially one that my father was very sick, and most people were seeing him to be somebody who's going to join our ancestors. But yet, with the prayers of Huzur, I received the reply that your father is going to be better, and Alhamdulillah, he was okay even till now. He's sound and healthy.
When it comes to the connection with Khilafat, as a missionary, you cannot be successful without that particular connection, because after all, it is his work you are doing too. And so I tried as much as possible to write as many letters as possible. I remember when my mother was not well and I wrote a letter to Huzur, he asked me to go to the homeopathic clinic and prescribe some medicine for my mother, and also asked further for her test results, so some further treatment could be given. I was looking through the replies I've had from Huzur over the years, and I was just impressed that I have some letters which the Khalifa al-Masih, even though he has a very, very busy schedule, has actually signed by his own hand in ink, which is very wonderful. So we hope to see him very soon, but till then, we'll just pray and have that pain in heart to be able to meet him always.
My unluckiest day, of course, is going to be the day which I pray never happens, that I'll go against, or I'll do anything which is going to win the displeasure of the Khalifa of the time and the displeasure of Allah the Almighty. This is when I'll, describe as my unluckiest day.
My luckiest day would be the day I find myself now as a missionary before the Khalifa of the time. And I don't know what would happen. And I'm very optimistic that this will be very soon, that I find myself before the Khalifa and I say labbaik to the call of servitude to the mission of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.